like just do this, this. You're like, it's not like I'm not trying. That's defense. That's defense. You're not letting it in, right? So there's literally the identity, I call it ID or ID card. There is the identity of literally, can you see this well enough? There is the identity of who you think you are. And you walk around and you say things like, I'm trying, I'm trying, I'm trying. And I'm sure you've probably had those conversations with the priority result or the priority goal that you want to get this week. You're like, I'm trying, Shanda. I have put in some effort. But have you really? Have you sold your car to hire a coach? Have you, oh, Shanda, that's too radical. I sold my car. I didn't have a car for a year. One thing I always say is I had a coat that my grandma gave me, and my grandmother built herself as a self-made millionaire, the first one in her family, and set the tradition. She broke the generational curses in our family and was the first one by selling encyclopedias, door-to-door sales. Now people are having a hard time with like even just like doing a Facebook Live because they don't want to be judged. By the way, you're going to get judged. I know you know that. I had somebody that literally messaged me yesterday and said, I can't stand the way your voice sounds. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard. And I went back to her and I said, I don't know who has been mean to you or who has hurt you, but for you to take the extra effort to try and hurt me, I know somebody has hurt you and I'm sorry for that. You know, that's how I responded to her, because I didn't take it like she was attacking me. I took it like she is in so much pain that she finds the need to be able to have to come out there and say something like that to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot of effort to go send something to someone, but to send something to like, just block me, unfollow me. You know what I mean? Like, and so there's got to be a lot of pain underneath that. So there's the identity that you see yourself in. And often we defend that identity. I know for me, those areas that I defended, I would be afraid to bring them to you because I was afraid you would judge me, right? Like I had a really hard time getting into a marriage, like a really hard time. And when things weren't working in my marriage, it was so hard for me to bring that shame out because part of my identity was what I built for the screen, which is me. Like anybody who's on here that knows me intimately, I am who I am on screen and off screen. But as I was going through that, that felt extraordinarily difficult, right? And the minute that you've got some of that shame or that guilt or that not good enough stuff that we defend and keep silent, then what happens is that controls the messaging that we put out there to the world, and people feel it. Like all your words have a frequency, and you cannot over frequency who you are behind closed doors. So let me just drop a bomb for you for a second. Think about who you are behind closed doors. When pressure hits, do you get angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, or do you go to bed? Because I know going to bed and tired is definitely one of them. You go to bed, right? How does it show up for you? And so you know when you're in any of that, you are actually in a mode of defending your identity. And until you can bring that to the light and let it go, you're going to have a challenging time. So the second thing is you literally have what your peers or your friends, what everybody else sees of you, right? So you have the identity that what other people actually see of you, okay? So are you coming back? The identity that other people see of you. And so that identity comes down to having to have the courage to be even able to ask people, like, why did he break up with me? Why did the last 3 guys break up with me? Forget about it even if you're in a great relationship right now. Go find out why they broke up with you, right? Go find out. Or why did your last 2 businesses fail? Don't say because and you fill in the because, right? Talk about that for a second.
So that's exactly what was happening this morning, is that immediately this individual went into the because of all these reasons, which isn't looking really at the underlying conditions, the underlying ways that you are showing up in the world to really be able to transform it, to change it, to be able to actually stand in the possibility into the wholeness that she is. Because what she's looking at is, I'm doing everything I can. It's not creating a result. That means there must be something missing. There must be something missing. And the reality of it is she's not standing in the wholeness, and nobody in this room was standing for her wholeness except for one person, and he basically got muted out in the busyness of this world, which is like this whole Clubhouse. The app is great, and we're enjoying like being on there. We're investigating it. At the same time, what I hear a lot is they're telling tactics and the busyness, and it's standing in between what's really possible.
Yeah, the leadership. So that's sad that he got muted. So, okay, so you got...
not that he got muted. He got muted in a sense in the noise, because there's all this noise in the world. And this is what I want to land with the team, with everyone here, is that as you're stepping into this next 7 days, listen to the noise out there, but don't listen in and tune in and go for that. Listen into the internal noise of who you are.
So good. No, it's so good. So if you're going to create an epic result this week, you're going to have to take yourself on in a new level. So you're going to have to say to yourself, okay, notice, because you got to self-police. You got to self-police. In our leadership rooms, we literally help you police these things. But you have to self-police, which means that you have to want the priority that you want to create this week, right? So you need to want that, and you need to be in deep humility or at least that's been my experience. I need to be in deep humility to be able to access where the areas that I like to defend. So notice if you're in a marriage or a relationship that you want to defend your position somewhere. Notice it if it's in your business. Somebody said to me, we're only using Clubhouse because of the fact that it's like we've been on it a lot, honestly, right now. But like Clubhouse, it was like somebody said, the reason why I don't have an invite for Clubhouse is because I'm not a big influencer and have hundreds of thousands of followers like you, Shanda. And I'm like, that's not true. I mean, people are on Clubhouse that don't have any followers. They're just getting started. So that's just not true. And so look at the identity, the reason why you're justifying not having the priority result that you want this week. So a powerful thing to do right now is to actually write down what that is. Like, have an honesty moment with yourself. I always say honesty converts. It converts in making offers. It converts in having you experience a transformation. And this week, we're all going to create a transformation. Yeah. We're going to create a transformation in we did our relationship last time.
That's right.
And so
it's elevated.
It's elevated a lot. And then we're now doing 12 30-day challenges for the year where you fell off the last
I fell off the wheels, but I'll talk about that. I have no problem talking about it.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm actually getting back on it as of this morning because I'm like, hey, we're going to do the Take Action Challenge. I turned over to Shanda last night. I said, something didn't work. I got to look at what is it in me that doesn't work.
Yeah, his identity of himself, right?
And a blessing is that I already have a knowing that I can be fit. I mean, I've done Ironmans, and so my fitness just is kind of dropped apart. And so I'm like, what's not working is I'm leaving it till the night. So, and it's not it's authentically not, and I feel like I'm not getting the results I want. To be honest, this is the honesty. Well, I look at myself, I'm like, okay, I worked out for about 5 days straight, no results. I could slip a day here. And so what happens, you get into this routine again, and so it's become this pattern.
You justify it.
Yeah. And so I said, you know what, it has nothing to do with that. There is some progress. So I need to change something. And I implemented this 4 a.m. wake-up call this morning. And I went right into it. And let me tell you, I had a hard time going to the gym.
You did it, though.
I did it, but I had a hard time getting myself there.
Okay, so my husband literally created a gym in our garage and invested in all of these different things to set himself up, and then he wasn't using it. And so, how many of you guys have experienced something like that, right? Like, let's just have an honesty moment. The cool thing is when we all get together as a club together, right? As we all get together as a club together, this week we all made a commitment to break some barriers. Who are my barrier breakers out there? Right? We made a commitment that we're going to break some barriers. We're going to break some barriers while we teach this. You're going to break some barriers. Why? Because the power is in community. When we get together and we commit together, the power is in community. This guy owes me $5,000 because he didn't work out, and I'm making him pay up every day. I'm like, where's my $5,000? Because the power is that when you have something on the other end that is so painful to pay, obviously $5,000 wasn't enough for him, so we should up that next time. Let's do 10. Okay, so
I'm not saying yes right now.
Oh.
But it
So-
won't be a problem because I'll be right on track tomorrow morning.
No, but that it
I
is
get
true.
it,
You
I
got
get it.
so let's up it to 10. And
done.
and we move.
I have no problem going
we
to 10.
move. So, but do you see what just happened there? This is why we need community, because we justify and we say to ourselves, "No, I can do it alone." No, you can't. No, you can't. The Lance Armstrong, whether you like him or you don't like him, has like 4 different freaking bike coaches. Okay, so he probably knows more about the bike than his coaches do. But you can't see your blind spots. Like, he just noticed his blind spot because I was standing right in front of him and didn't let that slide. So you get to be that for other people, but you get to also let people tell you what is their belief about you. What is it's really their identity, the identity they think you are, and you need to go ask them. So if there's an area in your life that you want to up-level this week, I would sincerely ask yourself, where are 3 to 5 breakdowns? And it doesn't even have to be in that area. Where are 3 to 5 breakdowns? We can all find them in our lives. And then in those 3 to 5 breakdowns, there are people connected to those breakdowns. Somebody knows about it. Yeah. Somebody knows about it, people.
And it's usually the closest relationships around
Yes.
you. And we shut it down. I just shut it down. Did you notice that? The only difference is that I'm a little more present to it. So every time I hear myself saying, no, or I'm scared, or I'm fearful.
Well, that's also because he's in our leadership rooms
Yeah,
constantly. So it does give him that heightened level of awareness. But saying that, I want you to look at the 3 to 5 areas of your life. Write them down right now. Write them down right now. Where are the 3 to 5 areas of your life that you've had breakdowns in the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years? I don't care. They're standing out to you. Okay, I want you to think, who are the people connected to those breakdowns? And then have the courage today. Have the courage today to send them a text, an audio message, whatever, and get on the phone with them. Set up an appointment. That's my call to action for you today. Set up an appointment with them to go have a conversation, and you do not get to justify, defend your identity of yourself on why that happened. Okay, so you get to like put duct tape over your mouth. You get to like tie your hands down underneath your feet. I don't care what you do. You get to just sit there and listen, and just listen. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to any of that. I just want you to listen. And then I want you to be a detective and find, what are the patterns? What are the words that they've all used? What are the words that they've all used? Last time we did Take Action Challenge, we asked people to go ask their friends what their feedback was on them. And the thing was, is everybody got positive feedback. And I was like, I got to get stronger in the Take Action Challenge on how I tee up this area, because the truth is that most people will do what the guys and the girls were doing in the clubhouse room, is they will keep telling people advice on how to solve things. And it's very confronting to really go to someone that you love. And my team knows this. Gome knows this, even in our marketing department. Yeah. I'm like, awesome, we did great there. And here's where we get to improve, right? Because most people don't want to talk about that because they take that area personal. Yeah. You hear what I'm saying? So I want you to go 3 to 5 areas and write that down and do that homework. Okay, do that homework. You can't go through this week and not do that homework. You're just cutting yourself off. Now,
let me give a tip on
how
to create that. Here's a great way to generate feedback that supports you to elevate, to step up. You got to tee them up. You got to tee your friends up. You got to give them permission. Give them permission to be really authentic, really honest. So you can tee it up by saying, hey, look, I'm looking to up-level in my life in some areas that's not working. And most people tell me everything that's working about me. Would you mind sharing with me some areas that you see I have an opportunity in? And what you'll find is you're creating permission for people to be honest and authentic with you. Doesn't make up, anything about you, and you got to just tee it up that way.
So good. Okay, so now where we're going to go is you want to go to your gap ID. That's closing the gap. And your gap ID is really where you want to go. So I asked you all to pick a priority, 1 to 3 this week, and then ask yourself, there's a gap to get there. Well, the gap is in your leadership. I'm telling you, you can Google every strategy online. Yeah. I mean, you can Google how to get more engagement on Facebook. You can Google how to build an email list. You can Google how to have a great, I have videos out there on how to talk to your spouse about actually supporting you as difficult conversations around, investing in your business. Like, you can Google every tactic. Why do you hire people? Because you want their leadership. You want their leadership. You want to show up like them. Yeah. You want their energy. You want the way they think. You want all of that. You want their leadership.